I'm gonna address this now. Isn't that lovely? Years ago, I made a video about how to get the ignition switch out of a '64 Rambler, and I had a pretty hard time holding the camera, reaching up in the dash, and doing what I needed to do to get that out. So I got a better camera now. It's years and years later, and I believe maybe it is magnetic. So I believe maybe if I stuck you here, that maybe I could reach under the dash. Now keep in mind I've disconnected the battery. Maybe I can reach up under the dash and grab that switch. And what you have to do is you have to push it and this together and then turn it. And I think you turn it toward the steering wheel, but it could be the other way. But see, I had to get myself up under here and reach up through a bunch of wires. And then push it. You see it moving? Might have to get upside down on top of my head. Oh Lordy. I might have to lay down. I might have to lay down up under the steering wheel, which, like a new car, does not adjust. Yeah, that's how it's going to work. Just got to get my hand in there in the right place to get a hold of it. There's going to be a challenge here. Pop these. Ooh, it might be easier to reach in behind the radio. I mean the ashtray. See, I got a hole here where the radio used to go. And maybe if I reach in behind the radio through that hole, I can't get through it there either. Almost, but not quite. Through the ashtray. Same thing, almost, but not quite. Maybe I need to lay down here. It ain't that hard to get out if you can get a hold of it. That is the trick. Oh, there we go. It's moving. I think it's starting to move. There. Now, I don't know if you can see that from a big fat head, but this has a notch in it. The ignition switch has a spring and a couple of pins in it. Pull it down in front of us so we can see it, because I got to work on it. Come on out of there. Well, I know it'll come out of there because I've had it out before. Oh, the joy. Oh, the joy. And maybe why I didn't show it to you when I took it out in that other videos, because it's so hard to get out of there. I think it's bound in by a bunch of wires and stuff. In fact, one can see when I'm pushing on it, that gauge unit up top is moving. I may wind up taking that out. What I'm talking about is this thing right here. When I pull on that, that moves. If there's two screws here, I may just loosen that. Because I got to get this thing. I gotta get some wiring done here. Let me get a screwdriver. Last time I had this gauge out of here was probably about 15 years ago. Nice thing about an old metal car is that things do come out of them, and you don't have to worry about them padded plastic dashes. You know how they they go bad, crack up and crack in the heat and stuff. Somebody said one time, wow, that dash isn't even cracked. And I thought, yeah, not cracked. Not ever going to be either. Not unless something really bad happens here. Alrighty now. Oh, that was helpful. Oh, and I see what's going on. Okay, this is for you guys that was wondering why I was having such a hard time getting that out. See, when I took that dash out, that dash thing is holding the ignition switch in. So I got to get the ignition switch out of that hole also. And it's just stuck in there. It's probably just kind of wedged in there with a bunch of wires and stuff. So I believe all I have to do is turn that some more. I turned it to get it out of that one thing, but I think I have to turn it back the other way. There, now she's out. Just like that. So, this is what the ignition switch looks like when you finally get it out. And I'm going to want to get it way down here. But I got some wiring going on the back of this thing. It ain't right. So I'm going to need to be making me some room to get all this out of here so I can get my hands on it. I'm darn near tempted to put some lights in this dash instead of having them down under here too, since I got it out. This gas and oil gauge over here don't work. It wouldn't, because it doesn't have a generator anymore, and the oil sending unit is connected to the oil pressure gauge. The fuel gauge works. The temperature gauge doesn't work any longer, and I'm having trouble with the turn signals. But the biggest problem I got with it is that it's this this thing here is pulling fire. And I gotta get it out of there and get it to a place where I can handle it in order to fix that. I'll stick y'all inside here. Maybe you'll sit right there while I reach up in here and pull all these wires where I can get to them. Let's see, I was thinking I had a blue wire that I'd run in there, but I don't see it. Yeah, it might be a good time to take this whole thing out. It would be nice to engineer these gauges right up into there. This here is that operates a heat control. This one of these does, and one of these has a broken wire and it don't. But this temperature thing still works with the fan on it. High beam still works. I'm gonna have to do a little. I'm gonna have to do some stuff in here to get this like I want it to be. But we ain't no hurry. We don't have to do it today. Okay. Because I got other stuff I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be putting electric steering in here, so it's probably a good idea to re-engineer all of this. I do believe. Yes, sir, Bob.